This is a website from 1996, a Sega.com page that featured several of the modern Sonic games at the time. The tagline for this little selection was, "Blue is back. He's big, he's blue, and he's back." Sonic is back alright in a 6-pack attack of games featuring Sonic's much anticipated debut on Sega Saturn, triumphant return to Genesis and Game Gear, premiere appearance on Pico, and for the very first time, Sonic is breaking into the PC world with 2 all-new titles. These games were the edutainment games Sonic Schoolhouse on PC and Sonic the Hedgehog's Gameworld on the Sega Pico, which released in 1994 in Japan, as well as the PC release of Sonic CD, which released earlier in 1993 on the Sega CD add-on for the Sega Genesis console, the Game Gear game Sonic Blast, and of course, the big release of 1996, Sonic 3D Blast, which got a release on both their Genesis console and Sega's premier console at the time, the Sega Saturn. As you can see, not the most eventful year of Sonic's history, definitely an awkward period of Sonic's past. You can check out the video I made on that. But Sega was at least trying to keep Sonic relevant at this time, even though they really didn't have a true 3D home console Sonic game to keep fans engaged thanks to Sonic Extreme being cancelled. If you click on each of the games here, it actually takes you to a new page, each with a short blurb about the individual games. The one for Sonic the Hedgehog's Gameworld is actually kinda goofy. Coming this November, let's go to the fair and visit Sonic's Gameworld. With the help of their favorite Sega characters, Sonic, Tails, and Robotnik, children uncover hidden talents while playing hoops, Sonic Ball, Robotnik Bob, and 10 more fun games and activities. They'll develop good hand-eye coordination and motor skills, and even pick up some fine points on game strategy. You'll be amazed at how much your children can learn while having fun. The following year, 1997, was the year that Sonic R released, and this is a Japanese website for the game. The website is pretty straightforward, it gives you information about the game, but the coolest parts of the website are the images. They show off some really awesome looking renders of the various characters in the game. Sonic is running on water, Tails is flying in the sky, Knuckles is smashing boulders, Amy is standing next to her car in front of a nice looking sunset, and Eggman is looking evil as ever in a laboratory. The crazy thing is, they even show off all of the secret unlockable characters on this site too. Metal Sonic, Metal Knuckles, Egg Robo, Tails Doll, and even Super Sonic. There are also renders of the stages, allowing you to see Resort Island, Radical City, Regal Ruin, and Reactive Factory from a bird's eye view. I do like the image of Radical City, the colors are really nice. Strangely though, they don't include a picture of Radiant Emerald, the final stage of the game. They treat it like it's a secret when they literally mention the stage by name in the Supersonic description. Let's take a look at a website for a game from the next year, 1998, and that game is Sonic Adventure. This site is absolute gold. Apparently, Yuji Naka, one of the creators of Sonic, and a group of people wearing Sonic character costumes went around Tokyo on the release date of Sonic Adventure in Japan. Man, I feel so bad for those people in the costumes. Probably some poor interns making only a Subway sandwich an hour. At the very least, this was in December, so it probably wasn't too hot out there. I can only imagine how scorching hot it would have been in those suits during the summertime. This page on the site is also really interesting. You can actually download these commercials for the game. There's a different one made for each main character: Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Big, Gamma, and Eggman. The quality is really bad in these videos though. You've heard of 1080p video, right? Well, how about 180p? All in all though, these are cool commercials, mostly because in Sonic and Tails' commercials, we actually get to see some early footage of the game where they're still using the Sega Saturn era Sonic and Tails designs. It's weird because in the very same commercials, they use footage with the adventure models, which makes me think they just got lazy and didn't feel like recording new footage for that specific scene in the tornado plane. You can't have an old website without a place to download wallpaper, and luckily this site does have wallpaper for you to download. Man, do you all remember when 1024 by 768 was considered high res? The website has a ton of behind the scenes pictures of Sonic Team during the development of the game. It's really cool to see the various photos of them traveling to different locations in the world to get inspiration for Sonic Adventure. This website is a superb time capsule. The 90s were great, but let's move a little bit forward into the future with Sonic Advance from 2001. This is the Japanese website for Sonic Advance. As you can see, the web design and overall aesthetic is largely improved from the very simple web design of the 90s, although, to be honest, I do have a soft spot for those old 90s websites. The fact that they look like a high school student's HTML coding project kind of gives them a cozy, relatable charm. In any case, this Sonic Advance page looks far more professional. The background of the website has a nice checkerboard pattern, and the bottom of the website even has tiles from Neo Green Hill Zone, which is a neat touch. You've also got a navigation bar at the top here with some nice buttons that have icons of the characters' faces next to them. The Sonic section just gives some basic information about the gameplay and the mechanics. The Tails section talks about the different game modes, and it even has a part here that tells you how to get the true ending of the game, which is interesting. The Knuckles section gives you some background information about all of the characters. The Amy section is pretty intriguing. It actually shows you how to unlock Sonic Advance's Sonic 2 mode, where Tails follows you around like in Sonic 2. The Chao section goes into the Tiny Chao Garden minigame in Sonic Advance and the game's connectivity with Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on the GameCube. All in all, this is a good looking website with some nice background information on the game. When I was a kid, I loved going on the websites of my favorite games just to learn as much as I could. Let's move on to the sequel of Sonic Advance, Sonic Advance 2, and right off the bat we get a reminder that Adobe Flash Player is dead. In any case, this is a nice website. This time they went for a green look as opposed to blue. They also have this border around different parts of the page that looks like a Game Boy Advance, which is pretty slick. Of course, they have a section here dedicated to the new character of the game, Cream, and her Chao Cheese. They display some screenshots that show off her unique abilities. They have another page that showcases the abilities of the playable characters, although Amy isn't on here, probably because, for some odd reason, they decided to make the unlock conditions for Amy insanely tedious. Sonic is unlocked by default, and you unlock Cream, Tails, and Knuckles by beating the bosses of Leaf Storm, Music Plant, and Sky Canyon respectively, stuff you do normally by just going through the game. However, to unlock Amy, you have to beat the game and collect all 7 Chaos Emeralds, not just once, but as each of the 4 other characters. Now, I don't necessarily have a problem with strict unlock requirements, but my main issue with this particular case is that Amy was already a character you could play as in Sonic Advance 1 by default. Why do we have to go through the extra steps in the sequel? Okay, rant over. In any case, Advance 2 has a cool site. It also has wallpapers, but for these images they have 1280 by 1024 pixel images. How far we've come since the 90s. The next game in the series, Sonic Advance 3, has another nice website. This game opted to use a yellow color scheme. Aesthetically, I think it's probably the best of the Advance sites. It uses a combination of game artwork, screenshots, and cool graphics to give the website that Sonic-y vibe. However, I feel like around this time was when the websites started to feel a lot more modern. And don't get me wrong, the modern Sonic websites are really, really good, but I wanted to mainly focus on the websites from the earlier days of the internet in this video. And if you all did enjoy this video and you want to check out more Sonic websites, then let me know in the comments. If you're interested in watching more Sonic videos, here's a whole playlist of videos about the blue blur that I've done. That's all I've got to talk about for today though, so thanks for watching y'all, and have a great rest of your day.